Welcome back to A Corporate Time. So we've got a guest on the line.
We do, yeah. We have a guest on the line. Not only do we have a guest on the line, we have a guest on the line that I'm not even sure that this gentleman knows. I wonder if he knows how big his band is. It's a big band.
He probably has an idea.
You think he knows? It's a big popular band.
Well, when you're standing there and you see all the people,
sea of humans.
You're like, oh, it's pretty big.
Yeah, this is
when
really
you play
cool.
Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, exactly. Let me go down the list of where they're going to be and where you can catch them. You can find them April 28th at Hard Rock Live, one of our most favorite venues. We love Lee and everybody over there. Hard Rock Live here in Orlando. That's on the 28th, 8 p.m. They're doing a big summer tour with the Goo Goo Dolls. It's called the Big Night Out Tour. Dates in, I think you're going to be floating around Florida in July 24th at the Sound of Coachman Park in Clearwater, also at Miser Park Amphitheater in Boca Raton, and also another one of our favorite venues, the St. Augustine Amphitheater in St. Augustine, Florida. On the line with us right now from the mega band, the mighty OAR, it is drummer Chris Culos from OAR. How you doing, man?
What's up, guys? Thank you for the awesome intro, by the way.
Well, I get nervous doing these intros because I think I even screwed up your last name.
If I try to do that,
See, I thought I did pretty bad. I thought
that was good.
I thought that was bad. I think I even said your last name wrong. It's Culos, right?
It's right. You said it perfectly.
All right, great. Well, hey, how does one get into a band? My wife loves OAR, has loved your music since, your humble beginnings. But how do you get in a band that becomes so big but seemingly without needing the crutch that is you guys are played on radio, but most of the people that I know that love you just know you because you're a mega band. How does that work?
Man, I think honestly, when we started the band, we were friends before we even, picked up instruments. And something about that carries through. I honestly think that 25 years later, whatever it is, it's just kind of like when we make music that makes us happy, or if it's just for our friends sitting in the corner in the basement when we were teenagers, that's always what resonates, and it's still to this day. It's just something about we've got that friendship, and it kind of carries across on stage and through the songs. I think that's maybe the secret there.
Yeah, and you guys do just good old rock and roll. You have guests that come, you have horns that play, and you do a type of do people lump you guys into the jam band style music? Is that accurate or not accurate?
It is a little.
Whoa!
You got offended by that question.
I don't know what happened right there.
We never had that before.
Chris, can you hear us, or have you been beamed to the? It sounded
like an alien.
An example of of a jam band right there.
Yeah, exactly. Look, this guy can't stop improv. He's doing improv on the phone right now. He breaks out a saxophone and starts tooting it in our ears.
Please tell your audience that's not what they're going to hear.
Yeah, we will. I think they know. Most everybody I know knows the band OAR. I don't really know of anybody that doesn't know that band. So it's just, to me, I guess what I'm trying to say without really insulting you is how do you guys crush it and sell out and play Red Rocks and Madison Square Garden and all across the globe, but you're not linked to radio. You're not linked to having to sell your soul. You're not linked to I'm sure you're presented by corporate partners, but it's not I don't think of OAR and immediately think of Coca-Cola. You know what I mean? It's amazing to me that you guys are able to do this at such a high level without that sort of a crutch.
Thank you for saying that. Honestly, we've had a couple opportunities at radio that we're so fortunate and have kind of helped, was kind of an important chapter of the story. But I think what it comes down to in the sense is that we've built this live show. And as cool as it is that we've gotten to play in some of those amazing venues you've talked about, what's just cooler, honestly, I know it's cliche, but it's we've got this awesome audience that comes back and sees us over and over again. And they're basically, we always hear, I've seen you guys 10 times. And, it's always different, even though you always play my favorite songs. And so there's that element of just wanting to put on a live show that makes that night unique and special. My favorite shows when I go to a concert are when they necessarily play every note perfectly like you would, the record. It's just something. And maybe it was even a mistake that happened on stage that the band is kind of laughing about, or they had some banter with the crowd. I don't know if somebody was talking about something, or there was a funny sign in the crowd. I don't know what it is, but from what we do best is basically try to create a connection with the audience. And when we improvise on stage, it is less of like jam banding, kind of the way they, noodle through solos and explore musically. Ours was more improvising moments and creating energy and picking up off of each other to like kind of basically create something new within a song that you have really heard all the time. It's just, if like we have a song like Hey Girl, that's one of a crowd favorite.
Yeah.
It's not like you're going to come one night and we do like a polka version of it or a ballad version. It's just that we kind of like in the moment create something that's special and unique to that night.
I love that. That's awesome, man.
Chris, what do you think I mean, I know you spoke a little bit. Oh, no.
We're having serious technical difficulties.
No. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Oh, Chris, real quick, I know you kind of spoke about it already, but what do you think that is that certain bands have audiences that will want and are motivated to see them multiple times, and every time they come into town and even tour with them and use you guys playing at certain venues like a Red Rocks as an excuse to go and travel to Denver and go see you.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure you've heard this a lot, your audience will use you as an excuse to travel somewhere and then put the concert kind of as the highlight of the trip.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Which is a really cool thing that to have an audience that is
Yeah, they plan their vacations around you guys.
You build a community.
They really do.
Yeah. What do you think? Is it just random happenstance that certain bands get that following of audience?
It's certainly possible, but in some sense, we sort of tried to emulate what our favorite bands were doing. And when we were coming up, early on, we were able to catch some Grateful Dead concerts before Jerry passed.
Nice.
We were also coming up right as, say, Dave Matthews Band was just coming onto the scene. So it's sort of like passing the torch there in a lot of ways to what was going on in building a community. And this is sort of just also as the internet is taking shape. And so there's file sharing, there's Napster, there's also all of these early message boards and tape trading communities where we all know that Grateful Dead's famous for having people come out and tape their shows and get live versions, and you spread the music that way. Well, we weren't necessarily in the jam band scene, but we kind of picked up on, hey, they have such a strong community. They built this empire out of that. And it's just we can sort of use what we do, which is a little bit of that. And honestly, I'm talking when I say improvise, it was because we were coming up having to play house parties,
Sure.
And it's you're not walking on stage at 9 p.m. and then have a curfew at 11 p.m. It was you have all afternoon to play this house party. And it was we just started. We don't have that many songs. How do we fill the time? And that was why we would kind of learn to kind of change things up a little bit. So from there, by default, you get a lot of people going, hey, I want to come out and tape these shows because they're always different, because they're always trying to reinvent themselves. From that, early on, created a community. And they didn't just have to trade the shows, come out and tape her, although that was important. But that spirit of building a community and realizing that you can interact with them. And then as technology kind of develops, whether it's moving into MySpace or Facebook or current social pages or whatever like that, keeping that kind of dialogue open and taking input from your fans about what songs they want to hear, and you kind of throw in the greatest hits, but also sprinkle in requests from your diehard fans, goes a really long way, and it makes them feel like they're included and involved.
You guys sound smart and like you don't screw around to the point where you would ruin your life. You know what I mean? Just hearing him talk about this and everything you said made sense, and that's such a great answer to our question. I see other bands and rock bands that go out there and they're just more about maybe even the image of the party and maybe even less about the music, have you guys ever gotten, ever tempted at all to do anything bad? You just don't seem like bad guys. You seem like good guys.
No, I wish we always, get that asked a lot, right? And it's like, we grew up on those like behind the scenes,
Sure.
behind the music or whatever it's called. Like, every movie there's like some, peak of the band and then the demise, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's like the drugs came in, or this guy
Right.
slept with the guitar player's wife, and it's like, honestly, that friend spirit, man. We're only on stage for like 2 hours every night. The rest of the day, we're together, and we literally enjoy that time together.
That's cool, man.
Whether it's throwing on like Step Brothers on the tour bus and hanging out after the show, or getting up and getting out and checking out the city for cool food spots, or a couple of us maybe go play golf, or we do a group workout. And that kind of stuff is fun because you're posted up in a parking lot at the venue all day.
Sure, yeah.
And so we get the crew involved. We get our, support acts or other bands that we're touring with involved. And we put like a boxing gym in the, in the semi-truck once all of the cases are unloaded, and just, go to town and that kind of fun
That's
stuff.
awesome.
Honestly, it sounds terrible to say because, like, we have wives and families at home, and it's like we're away on summer camp all summer.
Yeah.
It really is.
Oh,
we have so much fun
you
together.
can hear it. I mean, I can hear in just you talking about it how, and I don't even think you're drunk right now. I think you're completely sober. Like, everything you're saying sounds like a genuine, like, you love what you're doing, and that fires me up. When I hear people like you, then I get inspired. I'm like, man, I got to find something to get creative about.
Well, Chris, you mentioned bands like your Grateful Dead and Dave Matthews, and it does seem, and like in your band and the community that you've built, it seems like that community will continue to support, like, for instance, Grateful Dead forever, and then
They're still out there.
Yeah, no,
going,
I know.
man.
And then same thing with Dave Matthews, and like there is no stuff like
Bob Weir celebrated Easter yesterday, in the bunny costume on Instagram
Yeah,
or what. It's like, what
like,
is happening?
They'll always have an audience because of that community they built, and it's totally up to them whether they stop playing. And even if they did,
Yeah.
I think like something else that audience would migrate to some tribute band or something like
Sure.
you know what I'm saying? Because the audience is so engaged that they'll never stop. And then generations of people, like people's
You guys
kids,
are seeing that now, right? Like, with 20 years of doing this, you're seeing now people come and bring their children to see you guys, right?
Yeah, not only that, but we're starting to handpick venues that make more sense for a family to come out to.
Interesting.
As much as I love catching a cool band in the cool, club or dive bar or something like that, it's not necessarily conducive to like date night with your wife
Right.
or to bringing your kids out. So we can now go and look at the itinerary and say, oh, here's a cool spot. You can bring in, stuff to basically kind of have like a picnic. Put a blanket out and a full spread. Like, that's way more fun to catch a show if you're bringing your family out.
That's interesting. I never thought about that.
When you look out there and see people bringing their kids, how does that make you feel?
It's the best feeling in the world. I mean, and again, I don't want to say this is calculated, but we have those conversations. Like, we go and we look at what you were talking about earlier. We've built this fan base, and we can sort of operate within that bubble to, do what we do for, potentially a long time. Who's to say maybe it doesn't change, but we've been very fortunate. But we have a conversation pretty often about like, well, we don't want to be complacent. We want to try to keep growing the band and evolving. And what that means for us sometimes is let's try to get a song that kind of, fits in with what's at radio, or let's try to find a song
Sure.
that can fit in here with, what's going on the opposite end of the spectrum, because everyone's going to festivals and no one wants to hear, this, candy, song. They want to hear something that's more jammy. And so we operate all around those places to bring songs that like can find a new audience. Because if we can build a new audience that comes out to see us live, then I think they really can be a fan. And it allows us to do what we do on the road for that much longer. And so, again,
That's
it's
awesome.
kind of, there's a plan behind it, I think. That's what we're trying to
God,
do.
we better
Because,
make a
like
plan.
you
After
said,
listening to Chris, we better get a damn plan. This guy's got a plan. The whole band's got a plan. They got a plan. They're doing 20 years. We've been doing this for like 13. I think we got to get a plan, man.
Chris, last question. Do you think you sell more merch because of the community you built? or more of a certain thing than other bands? I'm curious to like how that translates. Like obviously with ticket sales and people bringing their family, that's you know, we see other bands that have done this, but it seems like you're doing it successfully. But is there anything else that like maybe I'm not seeing even the business side of the band? Like we go through a lot of merch, or we do something specifically that other bands don't do as much as.
We do. We have, in fact, I have a merch call with the band and our team in about 45 minutes. We're very hands-on with that stuff, and I think it's about being as thoughtful as you can with your merch and personalizing things, taking each thing different at a time. Because, for example, this summer we're out on tour with the Goo Goo Dolls, and so we are sharing that merch space. So what that means for us, what the audience doesn't necessarily think about, is that we have less amount of items that we can bring out on tours. If it was our own headlining tour, we'd have the whole merch station to ourselves. So we're attacking that from a different point of view. So it gives us the opportunity to be more creative on the e-commerce side of things. So we're going to be dropping some cool, like, limited edition things with higher-end, premium quality stuff to kind of round out having a smaller merch line this summer.
That makes sense. That's what we said we wanted to do, but we never execute our plan. We say we want to do the like higher quality,
it's
better
too hard
merch,
to execute
and then
anything.
we're like, just give them the slop, just give them the Chinese garbage. And like, oh my God, Chris, you're doing it right, man.
It's hard and it's easy to do that. But you just order a bunch of blank shirts and then have them screen printed. But nowadays, there really are some cool companies out there, and a lot of stuff we're doing in house, where you can just make like the zipper customized. You know, you can add the
We
tag.
tried.
We
It was
wanted
too
to do
expensive.
that too.
It was too expensive.
Well, you had to
Chris.
put them on yourself.
We don't have the OAR money, so like in fact,
Oh,
in
we're
a
packing the shirts ourselves.
yeah,
we might
next,
as well put the zippers
next
on.
week we're packing it. We sold shirts to our listeners for $5. It was the dumbest thing we ever did, Chris. And now we're up to our ass, and like we can't. First of all, we can't afford the vendor bill because we sold thousands of them, and then it's gonna be a nightmare.
Chris, have you
What
ever
have we done?
have you ever done an OAR cruise?
We have not done our own, and we've been talking about that and trying to find the right option. We've gone out with John Mayer on the Mayer Craft Cruise. We've done one that was like a Southern rock meets craft beer, and that was really cool with a bunch of the Leonard Skinner guys. We've done one or two other cruises. We've done probably a handful of ones that are like destination things. We just did Dispatches weekend in just outside of Cancun. That was last December. We've just kind of been trying to find our own. What's the best one we want to do? Is it Jamaica or is it a cruise? Is it a winter destination? You know, we're navigating a few things. But in the meantime, we've come up with our own kind of cool, I guess, sort of like special events. Like, for example, we have one where we're partnering with the Minneapolis Wild, the Minnesota Wild, in Minneapolis to do a charity hockey game with a bunch of NHL players and celebrities and rock stars. And we'll raise a bunch of money with like a fun, charity hockey game during the day, and then play a concert that night. And we've got our buddy Corey Wong, who's this incredible
huge
virtuoso.
guitarist. Oh my God, he's so good.
Amazing. So we've got some fun things cooking like that. We partnered with a promoter who does some of the biggest festivals in the entire world to do one in Ocean City, Maryland, which is the beach, 2 hours from our hometown where we grew up.
That's
going
perfect,
every summer.
man.
And we've got this 3-day festival. The lineup is stacked. I mean, speaking of, it's got John Mayer, Jack Johnson, Incubus, Weezer, Alanis Morissette, Sheryl Crow. I mean, it could go on and on.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, they're not messing around, man. Like,
You name like 8 of the biggest artists of my generation.
But more than anything, I think what I'm so impressed, and we got to get you out of here because we want you to make your merch call. I mean, good Lord. I mean, what's crazy, though, is that, like, you sound like you're having so much fun. I think that's the number one thing. Like, you just, and in any interview that we, when we were watching this morning trying to do our due diligence.
Yeah, how are you not jaded
Yeah,
for being in the music industry?
I need to write that down. Have fun.
He is having
people like it.
Yeah. I mean, so how do you maybe this isn't a simple thing you can answer, but last question: how do you continue to have fun and never get jaded?
It's cliche, but like I said, we love doing what we get to do. It's not a job. We're fortunate that we get to do it and not have to do this. and we bring that spirit into the, on the stage. We have fun. We, basically continue to push each other. We try to, honestly, I'm not saying it's all smiles and everything like that. We've all been in the hot seat at times. And there's that spirit of like communication and keeping ourselves accountable for each other and growing. And then when you see the results of that, and we're still here doing this, that many years later, it pushes you to want to keep doing it. And
I love it.
I don't know.
Well, that's a great answer.
For
Chris, thank you so much for your time. Again, guys, OAR is going to be April 28th, 8 p.m., Hard Rock Live here in Orlando, one of our most favorite venues. Chris, thank you so much for your time, man. We appreciate it. We hope to talk to you again sometime, okay?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you guys so much for having me.
All right, man. And, hey, koozies. Tell your guys you need in the merch meeting, koozies. The kids love the koozies.
We joke. Those little $5 koozies, man, we're going to put our kids through college.
Yeah, build you a
give them away
mansion.
for free.
Build you a mansion. Take care, man. See ya. That is Chris from OAR. I hate koozies, by the way. I'm so done with koozies.
Well, if he sold them for $5 down back in,
right.
because it costs 32 cents.
OAR koozies are probably go on their website and see what an OAR koozie costs. I bet it's $5. Might be $7.
But they're nice. They're stitched.
Supplemented. Ours are old screen print. Like literally, you get it wet and it'll start peeling.
Oh, they got a mystery bag. Remember when we did that?
They're
stealing our
You know what's in our mystery bag? You know what's in our mystery bag? Trash. Garbage.
All right, bye-bye. Sorry, I knew we had to go.
Yeah. All right, where's that go?
Wednesday 4.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah, very nice. That's the one thing that every person Billy has set us up with has been very nice.
Yeah. I'm not familiar with OAR.
Me either, really.
But they're...
oh, no, I don't know any other songs except for one, but I just know how big of a band they are.
Yeah, but it's like you put them in the category of the Avett Brothers or those type of positive bands that have a cult-like following, right? Like that people travel and
Yeah.
And then now it's like they're more festival type, bring your kids, jam band. That seems like the funnest band to be a part of because
like the Grateful Dead band.
As long as you're having fun and doing something, like your audience will have fun. You know what I'm saying? And
it's
you're
also
like, hey,
not the most aggressive music.
Yeah.
So it's
chill,
pleasant.
yeah.
It's pleasant to play.
I guess it would be the worst part is like people get into. Like, if you're a band, kind of like, I feel, even though Sugar Ray navigated this, but like bands that started getting famous for music they didn't necessarily want to play and then forced to play it, I feel like that's the situation you'd never want to be in, right? As your band. It's, like you're forced to play the music that got you famous, but you would rather play music.
There's a lot of those guys.
Yeah.
Waiting for a call.
Yeah, Andrea's saying she thinks she would like OAR out by your pool. You should put them on one day and just let it roll.
Yeah,
They've only got a million trillion songs.
Dude, there's so many bands and music that's good that I'm just never exposed to that I'm open to it. It just, I don't even know. It goes back to where, you have Spotify and you have the algorithms that are just sharing like-minded music, but you really go back to that's why I love the fact that you still curate music for the Friday Free Show, because there are people out there that appreciate you exposing music.
I appreciate them telling me too. They'll be like, "This is the only place I get new music," which is also sad.
Well, but it's like me. I don't know. I'm never, because you get in your bubble of what you listen to or whatever. I'm listening to fucking sports and shit, and then all of a sudden 10 years have passed and I don't know any new music, Like, what other place is someone telling me what music
where kids get a lot of good music now, I've noticed, is video games. Because of the licensing of a lot of sports games.
Especially kind of like Tony Hawk back in the
bigger
day.
ones. Yeah, Tony Hawk, I mean, they make no bones about it. The band, what's his name? Feldman.
Corey?
John Feldman. Is that his name?
The whole original.
What's that band's name? Here in Your Bedroom. That band. What's that name of that band?
I don't.
John Feldman from Goldfinger. There, got it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Superman?
Goldfinger, that band, he makes no bones about it. Like they did a mini documentary on the Tony Hawk, and he's like, that game and that song on that game made me. He's a big time producer now, and and he's a great producer. But he's like, that is what made it.
Changed his life.
Yeah, changed my life. He's an awesome
so
producer.
many people heard the same because
he's working with like Avril Lavigne and Mod Sun and all that now, and he owes that game to that.
Think about in retrospect, you're like, man, getting your band's music in this video game is going to expose your music to how many 100 million people?
More. I bet it's more because they re-released
people
the game 2 years ago and then put it all out again.
And people are just gonna listen to it over and over and over hundreds of times. Your song, like that's crazy.
To the point where you have no choice but to know the lyrics.
And at the time, it was probably
you're forced.
Like, what do those bands get paid back then to have their they
probably nothing.
Yeah, it was
$5,000.
But
hell, they might have paid to be on it.
The numbers out there.
It would be the best decision of the.
I bet the numbers out there, you could find it.
Right.
It was probably just like, hey, will you let us license the music for this? And they're like,
Sourdough brings up a wonderful point. Even the demo that was free had the songs on it.
Yeah.
So this is literally one of the most the easiest way for your music to get out there, besides being stolen and streaming. You know. I'm glad he mentioned that. I was going to ask him the question, but I didn't need to when he mentioned about streaming and how they were getting on the message boards and just like taking advantage of that. So smart, man. Fucking so smart.
So it looks like the first couple games, Tony Hawk actually like handpicked the songs.
Really? I didn't know that.
John Feldman, I have no recollection of being asked to be on the game. I'm sure I was asked, but we were touring so much that I just didn't want to go back to selling shoes. So any opportunity to promote my band, I would just say yes to.
Yeah, he talks about it like he's in love with it.
I'm just waiting for Matt, right?
Yeah.
Yes. What's after lunch?
BDM or G?
BDM show, yeah. We got a lot to talk about.
I get to be extra mean.
Yeah, I got some stuff that I got to talk about. Dying eggs.
Now I can't eat as many eggs as I want. And my fucking cholesterol. No, my cholesterol is high.
The farts.
The nurse called me after.
Sir,
that
how
blood
many
test.
eggs do you normally eat?
No, I don't even.
Oh, okay.
I never eat that many eggs. I don't know.
Can you get high cholesterol from cooking eggs every morning? Because you cook it. I'm
Secondhand
serious.
cholesterol?
No.
Do you get the smell of the eggs in your nose? It's the vapors, the egg vapors.
God damn. They called me and they're like.
I thought your cholesterol was on. You had it dialed in. Just get on the T.
Well, it's not the tea. I got to get on the goddamn statins.
What statins?
That's the cholesterol medication.
I thought you got off of that because you lost all the weight.
That was blood pressure.
Oh.
Yeah. The blood pressure was high. Anyway, my cholesterol's high. And then
Take the pills.
The nurse, but my doctor, but he changed his tune this time. Don't
talk about it. Talk about it on the BDM show.
Okay, all right.
Write down high cholesterol.
Yeah, oh my God.
Because I'm like,
going to be a
what
barn
the
burner today, guys.
I wouldn't.
Two grandpas talking about their cholesterol. I'll tell you about my prostate swollen.
I don't even need to talk. Yeah, no one wants to hear about that. But I'll tell the Twitch only.
Oh, the True Six.
But the nurse was like, they called me.
Then you
and
can't.
It's bad when they call me.
Pizza party. You can't be eating pizza.
Oh yeah.
Cancel the pizza party.
Oh,
we gotta have
high cholesterol.
No, we gotta have. You can't have a high cholesterol pizza party.
No.
We can have salads.
No.
Oh my salad party.
Salad bar. We're going to Sweet Tomatoes.
They don't have salad, sweet tomatoes
Pizza.
anymore. Who else has a salad bar?
No,
Ruby
you
Tuesday.
can't.
You gotta go to
Pizza's
Ruby
fine.
No,
Tuesday.
you can't have
So
pizza.
what am I
We're
allowed
going
to
to
eat?
Ruby Tuesdays.
And then
Cancel the pizza party.
So then I started thinking.
I was going to get the
I was like,
Marcos Magnifico.
is it the frozen yogurt that I drink in my smoothie every day?
No.
No.
It's got a lot of fat.
Does it?
Yeah.
Mm.
But not the cholesterol is like is slow, but I eat it every
Slow.
or low.
The
sorry.
cholesterol's slow. I don't even know what that means.
Probably the peanut butter.
No, there's zero cholesterol in peanut butter. It's got a high fat, but it's good fat.
What if
You
your
know,
body? What if you're just making?
You can
your
have
own?
fat.
What if you're just full of cholesterol? What if you're just?
Well, it could be
Oops, all
genetic.
cholesterol.
Yeah, that's what you tell me.
Drinking alcohol will raise it.
Yeah.
Can't be that. Can't be that. Can't be that.
Anything but that. Anyway.
You said alcohol. I heard peanut butter. So
Yeah. I'll cut out the peanut butter.
Okay.
start with the peanut butter.
Yeah.
Raw meat, full fat dairy,
You eat a lot of raw meat.
baked goods,
He's on
fried
this liver. He's
foods,
on this liver
It's
king
the
diet.
fried.
butter.
He sits in
It's
front
the
of this
butter,
table with his sons, and they have their tiny little ponytails.
But I don't eat that much butter.
And you sit in front, and you have your Liver King chef, and you're always eating balls.
That's what I
Red meat,
don't eat that much red meat.
processed meat.
I mean, you see me every
You eat
day
a
here.
lot of. He keeps a pepperoni in his pocket at all times.
I do.
I mean, you kind of do eat a lot of processed meat. You eat Publix every day, like those
Yeah.
salads. That's all processed meat.
Yeah, I
it's
got one
lunch meat.
today. I forgot about the cholesterol thing.
I ate the
But I-
Publix
but I've been
Nashville
eating
chicken
sushi.
sandwich. I ate 2 bites of it here, and it gave me spray diarrhea.
Yeah, but is a chef salad with some chunks of ham and turkey
And cheese.
and cheese, is that going to give you abnormally high cholesterol?
I don't know.
What? Who's?
But it'll make you believe.
Hold on.
It'll make you think wrestling's real. I know that.
Like I've seen some of our listeners out there. What's their cholesterol like?
Oh,
Is
it's
it
not
to the
good.
I bet
Is
Izzy's
it the-
cholesterol is better than yours.
moon? I know.
Should I post in the
That'd
media
make
group?
you
And
mad.
He
ask-
said his blood test was fine.
Izzy, what's your cholesterol? How bad is your cholesterol? It was bad enough to have her call
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
Like,
they called me in
stop
the
the
morning.
pizza party.
Yeah.
The nurse was like, cancel it. I'm in the Tom Van Club. We have to cancel the pizza party.
So then I started telling her, I was like, listen, I was like,
Listen, lady.
I'm like, she's like, you gotta lay off the fast food and the meat and all this stuff.
Lay off the fast food. I don't think I've ever seen you eat fast food.
And that's what I told
The
her. I
last
was
time
like,
we ate fast food together, it was a Whopper when we were bringing back those wet T-shirts from West End Trading Company.
Yeah,
that was like
like-
9 years ago.
and then I was like, I don't eat that. I'm like, I'm eating pretty clean and I work out a lot. You know,
EJ says his cholesterol's better than yours.
my body fat is not that high. You know, and then she got the doctor on the line, and the doctor's like,
Like,
well,
listen, you motherfucker.
he's like, well, maybe you do take the pill. I don't know. What do
He's
you?
like, oh.
He's like,
He's
if-
like, you're like me. I need a man to tell me too instead of a woman.
So he's like, either you're lying to me,
Oh.
or you just if you eat that clean, then you got to take the pill or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, it could just be
She
genetic.
didn't say you drank too much.
I didn't mention that. I don't want to tell them the
Yeah,
truth.
you know-
I'm like ashamed.
Wait, EJ's saying that EJ's saying that he believes they mentioned your drinking and that you're not mentioning it.
No. I don't even. I do. I cut back on my drinking.
You have a lot.
Yeah. So,
Well, you hide it better from your sons.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Anyway, I asked the doctor. I was like, "Well, what happens if I get on the pills? Is there any long-term effects?" He's like, "No, you're fine."
Yeah,
He's like, "You
pills,
can take
you
it,
can
but
take
you got to
it.
take it forever." And then I'm like, "Well,
Once
that's
you're
not that
on
bad." I'm like, I can take one pill forever and not have to worry about it. Like, just take the pill, right? I mean,
I don't even know what cholesterol is.
But then Chris was
Isn't
like,
that
"Do
the
you wanna-"
yellow shit in your blood?
Yeah, it's what clogs your heart.
I feel like mine's already clogged. Sometimes when I'm walking, I'll get a stinger, and I feel like it's got to like blow out a hole, and then the blood goes through. Good. You know what I mean? And then it's like I can feel it.
Yeah. Stupid, getting old.
Yeah, it is stupid.
Stupid age.
It is. It's terrible.
It's like I gotta constantly do more work. What the fuck?
Oh, he's on Zoom.
Oh,
Dom told me he was calling.
Uh-oh. Hope this works. I haven't tested Zoom since we got the OBS fuck up. Okay.
Thanks, Dom.
All right, going in. Close doc. Go here. All right.
It looks like the Trinity Tattoo logo.
Yeah, the Triskelion.
Yeah, is that what that is?
It's OBS's logo. Same logo. Isn't that crazy?
Zoom, 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 zoom.
Now I gotta exercise. Also, I think
Exercise more. You exercise a lot.
nah, not as much as I should. I think I got tendonitis in my hands and or my elbows, and man, it's
I'm not
painful.
laughing
Dude.
at that, but just the way you held your hand.
Okay.
Don't do that.
And
I got him. All right, here we go. Hey, man,
Hey,
can you
what-
hear us okay?
can you hear us, Matt?
Yes, sir.
All
Hey.
right, great. Thanks so much for the time, man. Sorry about that. We were expecting a phone
Yeah,
call.
sorry.
We didn't know you were on Zoom, man. I apologize.
Miscommunication there.
No worries. I almost called in too. It was my next step, but I appreciate y'all.
All right, man. Well, we'll get going right now. Here we go. Mr. Van, I'll begin and kick it to you. How about that?
Yes.
Where's this go, Sam?
Monday 1.
Monday 1. Here we go. In 3, 2. It is another corporate time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha, our producer's here. Let's not waste any time because we got a guest on the line.
Yeah, real quick, I want to remind everybody that Sweetwater is going to be BOGO at Publix on 4/13 through the
All right.
19th.
All right.
So if you want some buy one, get one Sweetwater beers, I know they're a big sponsor of our BDM Appreciation Party.
Indeed. They'll
We're
be
giving-
hooking you guys up with a
Yeah.
lot of tasty beers.
But we want to remind everybody, Sweetwater BOGO at Publix.
Yeah, on the line with us, this is huge, not only for you and I, but I'd say mainly for our producer, Samantha, because I don't think I've ever seen her this excited about a
Yeah,
guest
yeah.
that we've ever had on the line.
And her birthday, seeing Tropidelic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this Friday, April 14th at the West End Trading Company. We love that place. West End Live. We'll have none other than our guest from the band Tropidelic. It's Matt Rhodes. How you doing, man?
Good, brother. Appreciate you having me this morning.
Man, we appreciate you taking the time to do this. Where are you? You're on the road right now, right? Where are you at?
Yeah, I'm on a moving bus on the freeway somewhere in Pennsylvania, I think. I don't really know, to be honest.
Nice. It looks good. It looks like you're in like a fast food restaurant or something. That's a nice seat.
Oh, yeah, I know. Oh, yeah. Oh, you see the glare, too? Beautiful. Really, it's heaven shining down on us
Yeah,
this morning.
it looks good, man.
So, Matt, is it true that you were forced to play the saxophone growing up?
Yeah. Yeah, I was forced to play the saxophone. That's correct.
Now,
And you were forced to play the trumpet.
no. I elected the
Oh,
trumpet
you elected to
in
play the
band
trumpet.
in middle
Okay.
school. But
I was forced to play the flute.
But I'm asking Matt because I want to know if I should force my sons. I'm kind of doing with the ukulele and piano.
So you want to get your sons to be a
Well,
big-time lead singer in an
'cause
awesome
it worked though.
rock band.
Because the term force means that it was bad, but it was obviously good. Because look at him
Yeah.
now.
Well, he doesn't play the saxophone now.
Yeah,
Yeah, but in music.
But he's an awesome lead singer in a rock band.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
yeah, should we continue to force our kids to do music?
You know what? I don't have the answer, but I have a son recently. I had a son recently, so this is stuff I'm thinking about. But there was something there about the discipline that was like instilled in me, but also it was like I remember at the time I really hated it. So when you guys figure it out, I guess let me know because I don't really know. But it taught me discipline more than anything. Which when I got to move to guitar, like obviously really helped, and in different aspects of life, obviously having discipline is good to have. So yeah, I don't know though. I guess I very easily could have just said F this and not done anything though. So it could have gone either way.
Yeah, and congratulations on the birth of your boy. And, we have kids. Samantha's oddly the only person that doesn't have kids.
kid-free.
She'll be kid-free partying with you
Friday.
this Friday. But has it changed your outlook on things the way in the kind of the cliche ways that most parents tell you it will when you have a child?
I'd say 100%. I mean, there's different things in life where people tell you give you advice or so forth. And like, this was just another one where everyone was telling me stuff and I was just, okay, whatever, man, just brushing it off. And it's all true. All the cliche stuff is true. I'm like half tearing up at stupid shows on TV now. Like my whole outlook on the world is different. And it's really incredible. It's indescribable until you experience it yourself, you know?
I mean, personally, as a fan of your music, and I know Samantha too, I feel like I get excited when musicians I care about have children or have big life experiences, because I realize that we're going to get really good music afterwards, you know? It's like, I don't want to wish any heartache on you guys, because, you know, sometimes, you know, like when people have breakups, they write good music too. But I feel like you just having a kid, I feel like this is going to be like just oodles of inspiration for you. At least I know it is for me, and I bet you'd second that, right, Tom?
Yeah. 100%. And in going back to like having a kid and the discipline, because I found it interesting, you were like, okay, well, learning, you know, being forced to play the saxophone gave me discipline. And then reading more about you, you know, like Sam told me that you used to burn demos and hand them out to spread the word of the band. And like
the grinding mentality.
Yeah. That grind is where I like, that's all I want to instill into my sons is work hard, the grind. And it seems like you have it. And like, let's talk about just like, you know, doing what it took to try to even become popular, as popular as Tropidelic is now. I guess that wasn't a question.
That part you got to.
Yeah, we like to just say. We're
just going to tell you how you are.
We like to say huge statements and then ask no question and then stare at you. Then we stare at you on Zoom while you're riding down the road. But no, like you guys, I mean, from an area that not necessarily known for that style of music, how do you guys do it so well and become successful? Just working very, very hard?
Yeah. So you're right. Like early on, it was just like guerrilla marketing on the street. I mean, I started the band at Kent State University, and we would sell weed, and the profits we'd take over the computer lab back when there were still, you know, CDs were the thing, and we'd burn CDs in all 30 computers in the computer lab, put them in sleeves, stand between the busiest spot of the campus between classes, and hand distribute them in mass. And that taught you some things. You get rejected pretty hard, and you get over it pretty quick. But it just like whatever it took to kind of push everything forward. It's still really up in our mentality to this day. Yeah, I mean, it's finally starting to kind of pay off to a degree.
You know what? We should talk about, like, no one ever talks about, like, the disadvantages of the legalization of marijuana and how easy it is for medical cards and stuff. Like, the disadvantage is, I remember there being a lot of people, even when I was in college, like, they would sell weed. They weren't drug dealers, but they'd sell a little bit of weed here and there just to fund, like, things that they wanted to do.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Most of my musician friends are the guys that I was in bands with would sell weed.
Yeah, and then like fund their tour, like, and like
I'll
I
pay
said,
for a record, you know?
And it was just to their friends, and they knew a lot of people because they were in bands, and they would just get a little bit of weed, a couple ounces, sell it here, it makes like, you know, $1,000 or whatever. Like, all right, here's the money, and we can't do that anymore because it's too easy.
The weed dealer's out of business.
Yeah, and it's like, you know. It's, now we can't make that little bit extra $1,000 to go on tour.
Probably a good thing. You got a kid, man. You don't need to be out there selling weed. No.
Yeah. So it definitely helps supplement things like back in the day. And honestly, this is something I was just thinking about recently. It's hard to, like, you know, they always tell you, like, make sure you reflect on, like, sort of like, you know, take a second to enjoy and reflect.
Yeah.
I have a hard time doing that, but I thought recently, and back then, like, we didn't really, like, I don't know why at the time we were doing that. Like, we weren't really taking it serious. I mean, in all the years I've been doing this, it's probably only been the last 7 or 8 years or so that we've, like, really been treating it as a business, been on the road touring, doing that much. When before that, there's almost just as much time where it was just kind of a joke and on the side. And these were the days when we were selling the weed and so forth. So I can't really say, like, what the motivation was, other than probably just to, like, have a good time and throw a big show and have it be a party. Like, none of our lives were geared towards, like, music or nothing. We're going to have this be careers, et cetera, et cetera. So, but I was thinking about this the other day, because people have been telling me for years, like, it's absolutely imperative that you have, like, kind of outlined goals and that you move towards them, write them down, et cetera, et cetera. And it's like never, and I mean, like, I've never really had that in my head. There's never been, oh, I absolutely want to play Red Rocks. I absolutely want to throw our own festival. I absolutely do. But in lieu of established goals, I've just woken up every day and just kept pushing. And a lot of times I didn't understand why. I don't know the reason. I don't know what the goals were, but I was just wake up and go, 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 go. And it turned out to work out for us. So I guess in short, in lieu of established goals, if you just wake up every day and just like bust your ass, you can be successful and move forward.
That sounds exactly like you.
Yeah, Matt, I like you, Matt.
Yeah.
Because going back to reflection, I too have heard from people like
you don't even like a mirror's reflection. He hates all reflection. Hates it all.
They're like, working hard is great, but you need to, step back every once in a while and look at what you've accomplished and appreciate that. And I'm like, well, every time I do that, I start looking at it. I'm like, I want to be better than this or more. Like, I want to be bigger or better. And then so it's like, I understand what they're saying, but it's like, my whole thing is like every day, like you said, you just work hard every day, do as much as you can.
At least you're fulfilled at the end of the day.
And then
if you work hard,
everybody should have goals, but I don't know if necessarily like working towards one specific goal is actually that beneficent to your actual success, because then you only work towards that goal. Like you should just constantly
you might become obsessed too.
Yeah.
It's sort of single-minded to only have one thing. Was there a defining moment for you guys where you can say honestly where you knew you had to take it more serious because you're like, oh my God, look at what we just accomplished. I have to look at this as a business now. I have to be more mindful. Like, do you know like of a time or where you were at possibly when you were like, this is it, this is what we're doing?
I can't say like when that point happened. I've always like here's another thing too, is that I've always said this, and everyone's got their opinion, but as far as this music, and I'm sure a lot of other industries, maybe you guys are in entertainment too, it's probably true for you guys to a degree, but you have to be kind of like X good for sure. You can't be horrible at music or whatever it is you're doing. Another chunk of business, what I'm saying? Like there's people that are way more musically gifted than us that haven't seen the shred of the success, because I tend to think we're like good at the business side, and it's such an important factor. So I can't really say we've always been business minded. However, I will say that a distinctive turning point in this progression overall was I quit drinking and drugging about almost 7 years ago.
Congrats.
And that was another instance in life where people kind of told you things like, oh, your life's gonna be better, and you just kind of brush it off. But oh my God, like my life just went straight up on a net positive, like just incredible 180 in life. That was all true. That was all stuff people told me, and I didn't listen. But that was a distinctive turning point in there.
That's awesome,
I'd say as well.
I think another thing is too that you guys are so humble, and you actually are a part of your community. Like you guys have a Facebook group called the Tropidelics, and you guys are always in there posting. You even like apologized to somebody the other day because you were like, oh, I think I accidentally bumped into somebody going on stage. If you're in this group, I'm really sorry. Like they're like about the community.
Oh my God,
you know
you're so
what I
nice.
mean?
Oh, yeah. I'd never say that.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Well, it's very much like
in
our
my way.
BDM stuff.
I'd be like, where's the person I'm supposed to bump into?
It's very much like our BDM group is what I'm saying.
Oh, did we lose him?
We might have. I think he said,
Uh-oh.
are you there? So I think
Oh, no.
my question killed him.
No.
I asked the one. I didn't even ask a question. I just was complimenting him.
I know, he does look asleep.
I guess I should be more mean like I am.
Oh, no,
That's what they want.
Look at him. Oh, no. I think, well, I mean, it was nice that
We just had technical difficulties
Yeah,
that
a lot
are
of
beyond our
problems
control.
today.
Like,
Was he back? Oh.
There
there it is. We
is.
got you back.
Hey, sorry.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Anyway, I don't know if you heard Sam's question or not, but she was just talking about your Facebook group and how much interaction you have with your, I'll say listeners because that's what we call them, but
Your fans.
your fans.
Yeah. Is that something you guys like? Is that hard to do? Is it too much being that, I guess approachable or people getting at you?
No, I seriously, I mean, especially like since I quit drinking and so forth, like the things that I enjoy obviously shifted dramatically.
Sure.
But I do enjoy talking to people, and there's times where it can get overwhelming for sure. But I do enjoy it. I heard her mention about So like, don't get it twisted. Like, I apologize, but I knocked somebody pretty good. Like, I wasn't like, oh, I lightly tapped somebody coming into the crowd. Like, I felt bad because I thought about the next day. I'm like, oh crap, like I think I knocked somebody pretty good. So I felt the need to apologize to whoever it was. And she saw it too, so I felt better. I did feel better after she acknowledged that.
Oh, that's good. That's awesome, man.
Matt, I'm curious to the business side of bands, and like we relate to it because we're a small podcast business that does, essentially.
Yeah, we book for ourselves and we do our own merch, and
and we're grinding it out just like everybody else. But do you see some next step to, because I often look at all right, what's the thing that could really propel us to the next step, and it's hard to see what that thing is. And I've really come to terms with, if that thing happens, it's going to be random, and there's not really, all you could do is work hard every day and then be prepared if it does happen.
To what he was saying earlier.
And then is there but for a band, I feel like one super viral song, you could be propelled to the next chapter. Like, do you see things like that? Like, what is, or is it just grind every day, see what happens?
Yeah, I was checking out your guys' website and stuff too. So like, I mean, I try to be like abreast before I just dive into these, because we've been baited and switched on a couple times. I'm like, not gonna let that happen again.
Oh,
no.
Oh my God!
Wait a minute.
That sucks.
Someone set you up.
Who's baiting and switching you? Tropidelic.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry you had to deal with
it.
Up
a couple times, but like I try to do a little homework. But yeah, I can tell you guys are grinding, and you clearly have like an established following and stuff. And I checked out your merch and stuff. But to answer your question, like everybody, from my experience, like I don't know the answers, but like everybody's path's different, and like it's easy to think about, like, I often think about, but it's totally fruitless thinking, and I shouldn't do it. But like, it's like, man, if I had only known, if someone had just told me, or I had listened, I could have saved myself X, Y, and Z and been this far ahead and this or that. But the truth is, it's like you said, it's like everybody's path is different, and you really don't know, especially in like, and I'm sure there's other examples, but in entertainment, like, I can't think of a situation where, like, you could start a business and maybe you sell a product, you do something, but I can't imagine like getting rejected in any other sort of industry quite affects you like somebody that provides creative, because that's like, it's literally a direct extension of like your inside and your expression. And it's like, it could be really seriously, it can jack you up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, believe me. Like, when someone, if someone tells us they don't like our show, it's like, well, that's our personality.
Yeah,
that's who I am as a person.
Like me.
Yeah. But you have to, I guess, separate it in your mind.
You got to be like, well, okay, well, there are some people that like me, so I'll just go talk to those guys.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You bring up a good point. It's we're not selling ice cream here. Where it's like,
sometimes I wish we were.
Easier business.
Or it's, when you sell something, you're selling rugs, and people are like, I don't like these rugs you have for sale. Like, I didn't make them, so I guess I'll buy different rugs. But it's like, when someone tells you they don't like your music or they don't like your show, it's like, well, that's all I got. I cannot be anything different. This is what we produce, and and then maybe it's just not for you, and you have to find the people that do like it. Luckily, I feel like nowadays everything's is so diversified, and like there's little genres and pockets of audience, and if you find your pocket of audience, you can make a living.
Just stay in there and hold on.
And make a good living for your family for the foreseeable future, as long as you hold on to that pocket of audience, and you guys are doing it right.
It's kind of hard to pin down like the Tropidelic sound, right? Like somebody in our Twitch chat
I don't
was
know
asking,
how to explain it.
What's the genre? And it's like, it's kind of hard because it's like rock, rap, reggae, funk. They go to a lot of different types of festivals,
jam,
and they were just on the 311 cruise, so they're getting exposure to people that are not necessarily just showing up for them.
Yeah.
Totally. But yeah, hey, man, we appreciate the time. We know you're on the bus, and you're going a little bit in and out, but we appreciate you giving us a little bit of time from the road. And again, this Friday, April 14th, West End Live, you can see Samantha, one of Samantha's favorites, Tropidelic, And
it's a fun show.
It
Even
is a
if you're
very
not
fun
familiar with
show.
the band, you'll have a good time.
Well, thanks for your time, man. We appreciate it, and we hope you guys stay safe, and we'll see you at West End, okay?
We'll see you there. Thank you guys so much.
All right,
Thanks,
man.
Matt.
Take care. See ya. That is Matt Rhodes from Tropidelic.
It
Did I play it cool, bro?
yeah,
you were great.
It's
great
hard
job.
when someone you realize like the Zoom connection is like I don't want because
a little
awkward
bit
for the
delayed.
guest
Yeah.
if they're like this is because I feel like the guest feels bad that they're
It's
somehow
not his fault. He's on a tour
but
bus.
it's a
He's
connection.
doing his best.
Anyway, I like the mentality of
I wanted you to
just
say I like big butts. I
wanted
you to say that.
yeah,
It sounded like you were
And
going to
think
say
That's
about,
the real
like,
truth.
Dude,
What am I-
he was one of the founding members, right? In
Yeah.
like 2005, and like they're just now getting like some success. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
That's how
That's
long
a
it takes.
grind, dude.
Yeah.
And they're
That's
one of the bands that are always touring.
That is a long. Yeah, they are pretty much always on
Yeah.
the road.
You know.
I'm glad he did it from. Even though I know the connection spotty, I always like it when they're on the bus. I don't know. To
Kind of
me,
wanted to see the bus.
Yeah, I was like, walk us up and down the bus, but I realized that's not really great for podcasting. But
Right.
You know what I had a realization the other day. I was like, because we just put our heads down and work every day, and we don't really think about
oh, you
how
guys are
far
working. I'm sleeping. I got
we've
my
come.
head down.
But someone's teacher, like a family member, like heard of us, or like they're like, oh yeah, we know Tom and Dan or whatever. And then I was like, really? It
Right.
was still surprising to me. But then I thought about it. I was like, we have done a lot in the community with the sofa races, just like what I'm saying. Like we're
Yeah.
out there a lot.
I
and
forget that we were the guys on the jumbotron at the Orlando City Games for like 4 years or something.
over enough time in some community of doing things, people hear of you. You know what I'm saying? Like it works, but it's like I never sit back and think of it.
I always
it's
think
just
of the
every-
opposite of it. I think of like, okay, so like, let's take the example I just threw out there of Orlando City, us being on the jumbotron at both the Amway and the new Orlando Exploria Stadium for like, let's say 4 years, right? And we're out there doing the announcements.
Yeah.
Like right at the time it ends, instead of looking at it, stepping back like he was mentioning and saying like, oh, it was really cool that we got to do that. I always look at it like, I'm glad we're not doing it anymore because I know people would see us up there and be like, oh, not these guys again. So I take it like
yeah.
the exact opposite. I take it the exact. It's like
The
it's like
mentality,
somebody saying, "This is your medicine. This is a pill. How do you take it? You put it in your mouth, and then me just shoving it in my ear." You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I do the exact opposite of what you should do.
But
So negative.
but that is where you have to come at it like that a lot of times for the comedy of it, right? If like the being appreciative and positivity and being grateful is not funny.
No, it's not. You're right.
It's funnier to hate it.
I'm
And-
grateful for this.
So-
Ha ha ha.
Because look at what we're trying to do. We're not trying to create something like beautiful here. We're just trying to make you laugh.
He had an eyebrow ring. Did you notice that?
No, I didn't
He
notice.
had an
I
eyebrow
can't
ring.
see.
You can't. I didn't think you could. See.
I look at it.
Let's
I'm
all
like,
get
who am I
eyebrow
talking
rings.
to?
Oh wait, let's all get eyebrow rings.
I can't. Come on. What do you? I can't.
Let's do something crazy.
No, we don't need to do it. You can.
I thought you were gonna get a dangler.
Oh yeah, you did talk about.
I'll do
getting
it for a
dangler.
bit for the show.
You'll get a
but
dangler?
I won't like.
Let's do double danglers.
Like once I get it, I won't leave and then go about my life with it. I'll
Why not?
take it out.
I want you to have one, and I wanted a dangler cross.
We can start doing.
Did you just do a little?
That was a dad burp. We can start
I'm sorry,
doing
that was mean.
ridiculous bets. Oh, come on. Well, we're going to talk about that on the
All
BDM
right,
show.
we got a lot
we
to
got-
talk
we got-
about.
we got a
lot to talk about today.
To talk about today.
Anyway, what do we want to talk about? Because all I had it written down for the BDM show.
We
No, I
can do voicemails and
Yeah,
emails
let's
if
do
you
some
want.
voicemails and emails.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do a few of those. Voicemails and emails are perfect here. I'll talk about it on the BDM show. I drank too much in your hot tub.
Okay, I'll bitch
Oh,
about
you got to be
something.
careful drinking in
I
the
know.
hot tub. You'll pass
I
out.
can't. I was having too much fun. I've seen the error of my ways. This guy knows how to relax. He's got a palace. Like a Palace of Versailles over there with a big screen TV and a hot tub.
I'll talk about this because I think Norm's in the chat room, so he could.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
You're going to say something mean to Norm?
No. Well, I don't know. I think he's getting me good because on the Norm created this Facebook page. Have you seen? And now everybody's.
Did you know that? Do you see his low key way of talking about it?
Yeah.
To bring it up like he hates it. Do you see that?
Yeah.
But he's just wanting more people in there.
No,
Oh, there's tons in there now.
Yeah. It's
Norm's
hundreds.
letting anybody in there.
Hundreds in there. It
now-
used to be like
It's
exclusive.
elite. Yeah.
everybody's posting the first time they met me.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And it's like
The first time I met Tom Van.
it's like I'm at my own funeral.
Oh no, I didn't think about it that way.
I'm just reading, and it's like living my own funeral, and all the stories not that impressive to me and to my impact on other people's lives. It's all
very minimal impact. It's a minimal impact.
Well, so it's like reading. It's like being at my own funeral, and everybody
And
has
everyone's like, yeah, I met him.
a mediocre thing to say to them.
I got something to say about Tom.
And it's all meeting me at gas stations or.
The first time I met Tom, I met him at a gas station. He was fine.
Yeah, he gave me some tickets to some show I don't
I
even
didn't
care
even
about.
go to it.
So and then or it's people doing free work at my house and then showing people how cheap I am.
I don't remember. I
none
cannot
of
remember
them-
the first time I met you.
Well, because it's not that impactful in anybody's lives, obviously, because I read through them and it's not an amazing
Well,
experience.
see, that's you're making it negative.
Yeah, you're
Because
doing
these
what
people,
I just taught. You're doing exactly what I just
they're
told you
proud
I
about
do.
how they met Tom
They're
Van.
not even proud. I think they think they have to do it. And then Norm is sitting back laughing, and I think it's Norm's way to make me sad.
Is this a
Get
real
me
club
back
or not?
For making fat jokes about
Are
him.
we having a real pizza party or not?
Yeah, I'm doing that at the Ailstone, and I'm doing
Oh, no.
Well, because I saw the
Party
group
cut.
as an opportunity. I was like,
Party
maybe
cut.
I need Ailstone to continue to advertise, so maybe this group will
You might
show
want
up.
to give them a heads up
Yeah.
because there's going to be a lot of pizza.
Why don't
I
you
told
just?
Big
Why
Rick-
don't you just? If you want Ailstone to continue to advertise, why don't you just do a good job of talking about their products instead of having a pizza party?
Well, because all the bars and restaurants, they want everybody wants a a meetup or an event.
Yeah.
right? That's okay.
Yeah,
I just
with the main guy.
We'll just like some sort of meetup, and then every time we do meetups, I'm always going back to. Like being nervous about success of things.
Okay.
Daniel's the same thing. Like when we do a meetup.
Oh, I hate it. I'm scared that people aren't going to show up.
We're so.
That's why I'd rather just not do
torture.
it. I'd just rather not do it.
We went through a career in radio where we just stand there and nobody showed up. Hence
Yeah.
all
My
the
entire
stories.
career, no one showed up.
First time I met Tommy, he was standing behind a table and nobody was around him.
There was
so I
a
went up
sweet
and decided
spot.
to talk to him, and it was awkward.
There
That's
was-
all the stories.
There was a sweet spot about 3 years before I resigned where I was glad that nobody would show up.
Yeah, of course.
Because I knew I was making
course.
big money. I was
Yeah,
making
yeah.
I was making $150 an hour. I do a 2-hour promotion. I get $300, right off the top. And there was a time though where you had to fix your brain by saying it's okay if people don't come out here.
Yeah.
It's not a reflection on you. These are horrible designs.
Yeah,
These promotions are horribly designed. Nobody wants to come to a Lowe's at noon and see you standing out by the gas grills. Nobody wants to see that.
Yeah. Who made this happen?
Nobody. It's not your fault
Yeah,
for
yeah.
this. So you need to go there and you get that $300. And you need to, and then
Yeah,
be
yeah.
happy about it, and be happy that nobody shows up, and just talk to the promo person and make
Yeah,
them your
yeah.
new best
That's-
friend.
yeah, that's what
and
it
you
used
just
to be,
talk
yeah.
to, and that for about 3 years, right before I left, when that would happen.
Yeah.
So good, chef's kiss. I loved it. It was easy. It was 2 hours. $300, new best friend, just talking about what are you doing this weekend, Jerry? I don't know. My old lady's a real bitch.
Hey, well, that creates the whole army of people who have a story about the first time they met you in the front of Lowe's, and then it was awkward.
I thought it was sweet.
Well, I think
He doesn't have any emotions, so he doesn't know what sweet
Well, he
is.
seems to have some emotions.
Whoa.
Upset about it.
I would like it to be the first time I met Tom Van. He told me something poignant. You know, celebrities like
Yeah, but
Bill
you never
Murray.
say anything poignant.
No, I don't want to blame myself.
You have to say poignant.
Well, I didn't know it was the first time they met me. If I knew, I would try to come up with something.
You'd be like, I've never met this person before. I need to put on airs. I need to act fancier than I am.
Well, certain celebrities have stories from I met Bill Murray one time, and he
Why do you
whispered-
always use Bill Murray? He's been canceled now. You can't even use him
nobody
anymore.
even likes him
Yeah,
anymore.
nobody likes Bill Murray
I don't know
anymore.
anything about it, but there's
Oh,
stories.
switch to Kid Rock.
There's stories of him like he whispered in my ear, "Nobody will ever believe you." And then he went along, and it's like, and then they have a special story that they will remember forever. All the special stories are like either doing free work
I'll
at my
give you
house
one.
or they
give
just
you
came
one.
into the studio and I had an awkward conversation with them. Nothing that
There was a lot of people meeting you at Latitudes.
I'm at Latitude,
Which
blacked out drunk.
most of them said they were blacked out and they barely remember.
Makeup, a lot of makeup.
So how special is it? Norm's doing this on purpose to make
How would
me.
Norm have known?
He's an evil genius.
He's not
because
an evil genius.
He's
You don't
worked this
have
out.
to be a genius to know that you are fueled by your ego.
I remember
If
the
you
first
make a
time you met
Tom Van
Norm. Do
Groove
you? Do you remember the first time you met Norm?
It was at the. It was,
Don't help him.
Oh, is
No,
that
me?
It was
Yeah.
at
I don't
Hourglass.
remember.
It was at
You
Hourglass.
called him Richard.
Was it Hourglass? Okay,
Yeah,
I
it was
remember that.
Hourglass.
Yeah, it was at
Yeah,
Hourglass.
Was it? But it wasn't special for
He called him
Norm.
Big Fat Richard.
Well, he's obviously getting me back now because now he's created this whole thing that, of course, I'm drawn to look at.
Yes,
and it's
because
all,
he's fueling your ego, and then
it's all just it's an obituary of how my life wasn't that impactful. I'm just reading story after
But it
story
is, if you
of
have
mediocre
multiple-
experiences.
If you have multiples, though, I feel like it is impactful.
What do you mean? Like a bunch of people that you just read one
Right,
after
like,
the other? I
yeah,
didn't.
but if
I didn't
there's
impact
but if
anybody's
there's
life at all.
2,000 of them. That's good. You impacted a couple lives.
No, none of them had a special moment with me at all. It was all just.
Do you remember the first time you met Tom?
Yeah, I put it in the group. It was at Mellow Mushroom in 2010. You guys were doing trivia out there, and
Okay.
it was the first time you guys were selling Lambo Dick shirts.
Did I?
Oh,
Do
I
you
saw
remember the
that.
first time you met me?
I thought you were
I
on the
was
show
17
already.
and I job shadowed you for my high school project.
Oh, really?
Well, that's important. You were job
I
shadowing.
bet I was impactful. I bet I was very. Did I
Yeah,
tell you
you're
some?
very impactful.
Did I tell you some important things?
Yeah.
Important words.
Yeah. Well, that's
See,
special.
that's the way you do it, baby. That's
No,
see,
yeah,
I
yeah.
left she was 17 years old. I may have convinced her to go into broadcasting.
Yeah.
It was me that convinced you to go into broadcasting, right?
It
Like you
was.
talked to me, you job shadowed me, and you're like, I think I'm cut out for this. And one day I'll be his producer.
You know what it
and
is?
look what she did.
Have
she
you ever-
called her
I
shot.
manifested
She
it.
called her shot, man.
Have you ever been to a funeral where someone says one thing and then they go to the crowd and say like, "Oh, anybody have anything else to
nobody
say?"
says it.
And then
Yes, I
nobody-
have.
And then one uncle finally
Gets up there.
and is forced to be like, "Oh, I don't want to have no one say anything."
Yeah.
So he
I'll say something.
and then he just starts rambling on
I like
about
his boots.
about some sort of minuscule
Superficial,
like
dumb shit.
like
Oh, I almost cursed.
yeah, like he showed up to work every day and we talked all the time
Yeah,
at lunch.
good hair.
It was just like, that's all you have? And that's it? That's what it feels like. A bunch of people just having like minutes.
read
Well, would
some
you
of
rather
these?
not have it? Because I feel like that would be
it's
worse.
nothing special.
No, that would be
And then I'm
worse.
reading it all, and I'm like, well, look at my career. Well, what have I done?
Well, I think it'd be worse if you didn't even have the group, because we all know that the group is what keeps you going.
No, the group reminds me how little I've done.
So tell him to shut the group down.
I can't because I like the fact that this group. Because that's
there
why
it is.
he's an evil genius.
There it is.
Because he's just showing me the obvious, which I don't want to see. I wanted to see the fantasy.
Look at all these millions of people that think you're nothing. Is that what he's doing?
Yeah.
That's the evil genius voice?
Yeah. It's
Look at all these
I'll
people who barely remember you, how hard they have to work to remember how they met you.
He's showing me the truth instead of the fantasy that I have in my head.
What is the fantasy you have in your head?
I
That
don't know.
all of
Is it
these
a-
people, like,
Well, I
they
thought that
go to
people-
bed every night thanking you for the impactful things that you've told them?
I think every day I'm like, someone's like, I'm glad Tom's
Name
telling
one
the
person
truth.
you've given advice that it helped them out.
Well, it's obviously
other
no
than
one.
Dan Cummins. Other than Dan Cummins.
Yeah, but I don't even think he was on the
he was
path.
already on it.
In fact, I don't think when he called me, I rambled on for an hour.
He's like,
He was-
Jesus Christ, this guy won't shut up. God, I wish I was at a funeral
I
right
think
now.
he was just asking me to use Lipson or not or something. Yeah, I don't think he even wanted to hear the other stuff, and I just told him, and then I made up in my head.
Look, I just needed
how
the
I
number of your branding agency, you
Yeah.
idiot. I don't need to know
Yeah.
2 to 4 and 4 to 8.
Yeah. I don't think he needed to know any of this. In fact, he's doing way better than us, so obviously he didn't need to know nothing.
My God, I see like his ads for his show are more impactful than our show.
Well, yeah,
Like
they're
he'll
huge,
just have an ad
gigantic.
and it'll be like, coming up next. and it'll be like something he's doing, and I'm like, oh my God, that looks amazing.
I started telling him one time about how much merch we sold, and then he told me.
Oh, don't even tell me.
And then he told us how much merch he sold, and it blew the front glass of our fish tank cracked. That's how much money he was making.
Yeah. Just one item, and I was like, "You've done more than we've ever."
Yeah. What are you guys? We're doing $5 T-shirts. He's like, "What are you? What am I doing? I'm doing $100 duffel bags, and I sold 1 million of them. How about that, you idiots?"
Yeah.
And
They got a lot of merch over there.
Then I realized I'm gonna stop giving him advice.
You need to ask him for advice.
I've done it. Then he
he tells us, and then Tom's like, I'm not interested. We did
Too hard.
We met with his merch guys, the guy, because and they're like, we can do anything in house. We're like, not interested.
Too big. Yeah. I was like, oh, this is a different level. We're back.
This is embarrassing.
I'll go back to 7-Eleven. That's where I belong.
Sometimes I do
I'll meet
miss
someone.
Sometimes I do miss the days of folding our own T-shirts.
We'll be doing it next week.
I look out there in the garage, and there's some young teen girl I don't know folding and stuffing shirts.
It was a listener.
She's like, can I take lunch? I'm like, no, you can't take lunch.
Are we getting lunch when we're packing these shirts?
Yeah.
No, Tom said no.
Or do we have to bring our own lunch?
You said, are we getting gringos? And I could already hear him like, that'll slow us down. No time for gringos, you idiot.
No, you wanted to get it catered. I was like, we don't need catering.
I didn't say anything. Don't yell at me.
I'll go to McDonald's.
Sam said.
McDonald's.
Sam said, are we getting catered by gringos? And I can already hear you saying no. I can hear him saying no.
Yeah.
Before he says no. I can hear his no. It's because his mind goes. No. You can hear it like ramp up.
We'll get lunch.
What, are we getting
what do you guys
McDoubles?
want? What do you guys want?
A McDouble. I'll just work through my lunch.
4 McDoubles.
I'll just work through my lunch.
I got Daniel McDonald's one time for helping me
Get a hot tub. Yeah.
And all he does is bitch about it. And I was trying to do what friends do for each other. You buy lunch if you're trying to get some hot tub.
Cheapo, though. McDonald's.
He got me McDonald's. He got me McNuggets.
And it was from Daniel's old math teacher or something.
What?
High school math teacher.
He was trying to buy a busted ass hot tub from my old math teacher in DeLand, and she came out, and she's a bigger lady. She came out.
You know what though? I helped Jessica with a hot tub. No McDonald's. So you know what? At least she got a meal.
And we got there, and then Dirty Jim showed up, and he's
Why
like,
Jimmy
"Where
showed
the
up?
hell? I've been looking for this place for hours in the back of somebody's trailer."
Was he helping you move
He
it?
was
Right,
gonna.
I asked for his help.
It was me, Dan, and the
By the way,
Magic
it makes
Man.
him a way better person than I am, because if, like, I've said this before, if someone
Oh,
below
he just
me.
wanted to smoke a cigar away from his wife.
Good-
So seriously, that's what he does. He'll do anything for a cigar and his dog. Now, you know Jimmy. He's like me. If you tell me to do anything, just you put a Coors Light there and my dog, I'll be there.
If Jimmy asked me to go to some cockamamie scheme and
I
lift
wouldn't
something,
know. But he did
don't
it for
worry.
you. He did it for you.
I know.
So
He's
he
a
shows
good guy.
up, and then we go out there, and then we realize that this thing is it is a bucket of rust. From the inside, I mean,
And it was
like,
full too, so
yeah,
we couldn't
it was-
even
it was-
put it in the back
Did
of my
it drain
truck.
it?
we couldn't drain it. And
Well, because I was like, prove to me it works. Like, I want it hot when I show
the
up.
lady-
I had to dig one out of the mud.
mud.
God, what did we do in our lives?
Well, that's what we've been.
Sawed it in half at the
This is
end.
when this is when trash people want to be fancy. They get mud koozies, and it's stupid.
Well, then I
Stay in your lane, trash people.
100 posts about how I'm a trash person. And the first time they met me, I was there trying to buy their hot tub.
So most of the people in the Tom Van Club are just people that
It's a lot of gas stations.
It's all
a
gas
lot of latitudes.
It's all gas latitudes
gas stations.
and doing work
Gas
in my house.
stations and latitudes
Yeah,
is a Jimmy
it's
Buffett
a
song.
That just reminds me. I was like, well, it wasn't that good. I thought I envisioned my career a lot better than this. Anyway, he's trying to get me. I'm telling you, it's all those fat jokes. And he's like, I know what I'll do. And then he
He's
came up with his
happy
own.
now, right? He's like happy and doesn't he have a girlfriend?
Yeah. Well, now he's bullying
Taking
me.
it out on
yeah,
you.
yeah. He's
Yeah.
taking- yeah. I know what you're doing, Norm. I see it.
This is a good one to end. Izzy called in to talk about getting your feelings hurt.
Hey, Tom, Dan, Sam, Izzy here. I was listening to the Friday Free Show, and Tom was talking about, everybody was talking about getting your feelings hurt over a joke and something like that. And Tom said, you said if you direct it at me, yes, I'll get mad and whatnot, and we'll argue, and then we'll fight. I know Tom's not going to fight. But that sparked a thought in me. I wouldn't fight over words. Like, I only have like maybe 2 good fights in me. Really, two good really fights in me. And honestly, words are not gonna make me fight. You gotta really provoke me, and then I'll pounce on you like a cheetah. But other than that, nah.
Well, what are they provoking you with? Words. It's like it's rare that someone just comes at you with violence.
What if
It's-
they like knock the hat off your head or something?
Yeah, I guess
That's a move, right? Knock your
yeah.
sunglasses
That's
off.
that's a that's a
You ever
violence.
had anybody do that?
Well, usually
Ever had anybody push you?
words are starting first. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. It's like I'm not gonna fight someone over just words, but words are usually the start of it, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like, is the person saying those words in a combative, insulting way to draw
I think
this
that's what
towards
he
a
meant,
fight?
yeah.
And so it's not. Fighting over words is stupid.
My new favorite videos, this is related, unrelated, are videos of Rogan Red muscle men that come up to cars and punch the windows out.
Okay.
There's tons of these.
Yeah. What are you doing?
They got high blood pressure.
Yeah, they're literally
Calm
like,
down.
they're freaking out. They're like, why'd you pull me over? And then they smash through the window, and then they just get in their car like that's acceptable. They're just going to drive away, and it's okay.
The rage that people have and the anger is
It's
too
gone
much,
up, right?
yeah.
I think it's gone up a little bit.
No, it's just
No?
we see it.
We see it
just-
more?
It's all the same. It's everybody is the same as it always has been. It's just we're seeing it now. And that's the difference. I truly believe it. I mean, it could be wrong, but it seems like if you just see it more, you think more of
More
it's
of it.
happening,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
And so I think road rage has always been around. It's just now everybody has a phone on them and filming it.
And a gun.
Yeah, I don't do that though. Like I don't like I'll see some things happen and I never am like film it. Like it's never my first thought ever for anything. My daughter could be doing something impressive and I'll just stand there and watch it. I guess I'm old.
It's people, they go to the front. When you're seeing something like a road rage incident and stuff, like Crystal saw like someone pulling a trailer and then it started fire.
Oh, yeah.
Did
Oh, wow.
you see that on her
Yeah.
Facebook or whatever? Like she was just sitting at a stoplight and then all of a sudden, this person had a trailer full of cardboard and then it was smoldering.
All the pizzas from the Tom Van Pizza party.
Oh my god.
And then she's like, "Look at this trailer!" And people are honking at the guy, and then telling him like, "Hey!" And then someone
I like it when it's a person that doesn't know, and I like it when you're trying to tell them something, and they're like, "What? And then they're like, "Still don't know," and then they drive away. I like that.
Yeah. I always look at like when that happens, I'm like, that would be me. For sure, my trailer would be on fire, and then I'm just driving down the street. And it's
Driving around.
huge. What do you do? I was like, where did that guy go? Because she said when he started driving off, like the flames started coming
oh, yeah,
up.
the air.
And then I was
giving it air.
I was like, once your trailer is fully engulfed, where do you
Firehouse subs. You gotta go to Firehouse subs.
do you go
Fully
to
involved.
some like do you pull into a
Car
gas
wash,
station?
car wash. You go through the
I
car
pulled
wash.
into a CVS when my truck caught on fire.
No, you go through a car wash, right? Or
Well-
you pull off the side of the road, and then you're getting anything. You get your members only jacket. You're whacking it.
It's
trying
there's
to put it out.
so much fire that there's no way you're gonna put it out with just your hands or a jacket.
No,
or,
you gotta call the fire department.
Well, the first thing you do is you dump your coffee or Big Gulp on it.
yeah,
It'll
any
do
liquid.
something.
Pee on it. Yeah.
Anyway, all right. We gotta go. Bye bye.
When you said we gotta go,
We gotta go.
it made me think of that Checkout Time by Tupac. We gotta go. We gotta go. We gotta go. It's a good ass song. Where's that go?
Monday 1 and 2.
All right. Are we doing another one?
No, that's it.
No, but we'll do an intro, and then we'll come back after lunch in the BDM group and do BDM and OG.
Monday 1 and 2. I gotta get some food.
Do I have to cut out Lambo Dick?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Okay. Guys, have a great lunch. We'll be back on Facebook for the BDM show later.